What is up, fans of March Madness? My name is Anthony and I don't have an intro. Now right about now you're probably asking yourself two questions. Who am I and what am I doing on Woody's channel? Now as to the first question, I've already answered it. My name is Anthony, and as to the second question, I'm going to be helping Woody break down his March Madness tournament. So without further ado, let's hop right into the matchups that occurred in round number 3. Alright, the first matchup I'm going to be going over is Texas Dro, who went up against Fuzzy Otter Balls. Now, Texas Dro came out with what got him past the first round, which was a freestyle rap, and he made a point to say in his commentary that it was a freestyle and that it wasn't anything written down. Something that I did note was that he used almost the same class up as he did in his last video, which was the FAMAS with the red dot sight, but regardless, he had some really great gameplay, going 29-1. So that, plus a cool rap, and a laid-back commentary, kind of talking about doing your own thing if you want to get big, starting up commentating on YouTube, really made it an entertaining and easy to watch video all around. Then his opponent, Fuzzy Otterballs, came out and talked about how his channel has really changed through this whole March Madness tournament, and how he tried and failed doing a live commentary for this round because he sucks at multitasking. So he did a live message reading and answering, and these messages that he's been getting are just ridiculous. Whether real or fake, I don't know, but they definitely had me cracking up the whole way along with some action-packed gameplay on WMD. Now, I thought this video was very funny and creative, as Fuzzy always is, and that creativity and originality will help him out in YouTube in the future, as it helped him beat out Texas Dro in this matchup. Up next, we have Onslaught, who went up against Eat My Diction. Now, Mike brought us his first ever series he did on his channel called Be Like Mike, where he pauses the video at certain points and lets you guess what his decision was going to be. Now, what I like about what Onslaught is doing here is that he's showing us he's a very versatile commentator, seeing as he's shown us something different in each round that he's been in the tournament. Now, this commentary was very interesting and informative, as it always is, and he combined all this with some really great editing. On top of that, he had a little interactive twist that made his video really entertaining and easy to watch. Eat My Diction then came out a try commentary with two girls and talked about the threesome that they had, and pretty much did the one thing that any comedian can do to make people laugh, which is make fun of himself. And that's exactly what he did. He basically had the girls talk about how bad he was in bed, and it really had me laughing, and I thought it was awesome to see how open he was to destroying his self-image, but it still was not enough to beat out Onslaught, who took the win in this round. The next matchup I'm going to be going over is the Sideshow, who went up against Alexandre. Now, the always energetic Sideshow came out with some good old Call of Duty 4 action, and what I love about this guy is that he could literally talk about nothing and still have me smiling and laughing throughout the entire video, which is a great trait to have whenever it comes to commentary. Then to add on to that, he made another song, like he did in previous rounds, about how his competition and himself met, and it was a great song and it was really funny, and he has a great singing voice. And this was honestly probably one of the most entertaining commentaries I've seen in the competition so far, but as in every video, there was a downside, and that was that there was almost no structure to the commentary, but that is kind of the Sideshow's style, so I can't criticize it that much. Then his competition, Alexandre, came out with another cool layout similar to his last video, and had a fun to watch dual gameplay, one using the sniper on Array and one rushing with the Galil on Nuketown, and he incorporated theater mode into it, and I really like what he did. He did a great job of editing the video, and I could tell that he put a lot of time into it. From time to time, he would put theater mode work on the main screen and first person view in the corner, or vice versa, and it was really impressive. Then on top of the good editing, he had an interesting commentary about how he hopes theater mode returns in future games, but he wouldn't be able to win this round as Sideshow will be moving on. The next matchup I will be going over is K-Pop, who went up against XDavidXS. Now, K-Pop came out telling us ghost stories, ripping off of the beloved perk in the game of Black Ops that we all know and love, and was really kind of a fresh type of commentary. No other commentator has told ghost stories in their videos, and it was really something kind of different. And though her gameplay started off sort of slow, she ended up finishing very, very strong. She went 50 kills to 5 deaths in a regular TDM, so that's well over half of the kills, so some really great gameplay, and made a really fun, interesting video. And then XDavidXS did something that I thought was really kind of entertaining. He did a dual commentary with his girlfriend and basically quizzed her on her knowledge of Call of Duty, and some of her answers had me cracking up. He asked her what a noob tube was, and she thought it was a noob that was on YouTube, and I could just tell that they had a good time putting this video together, and this originality along with Call of Duty 4 gameplay is why XDavidXS will be moving on in the tournament, as K-Pop will be getting knocked out. Up next on the list is Ukrainian Limbs, who went up against FC2300. Now, Ukrainian Limbs came out with another installment of his job application prank calls, where he submits a resume filled with all of his Call of Duty achievements over the years, and basically tries to confuse the employer calling him. And it was funny as usual, but it didn't seem to live up to his last one, which I found to be much more funny. Something that I did like is the fact that he put this prank call over a montage type of gameplay, which was basically beast clips from different Call of Duties over the years, which was a nice switch up from the normal Black Ops gameplay. And then his opponent, opponent FC2300 came out talking about a wrestling match that went on when he was a kid, and he talked about how it affected his life, and he did this over Call of Duty 4 gameplay. But regardless, Ukrainian's prank call would take 3 out of the 5 votes in the close victory for Ukrainian Limbs. The next matchup is T Martin, who went up against Dr. Coffee MD. Now, the always informative T Mart came out with a short and sweet Black Ops 101 episode where he went over some tips and tricks as well as lines of sight on the map of Villa. Now, it was only about 3 minutes long, but he did show us some really useful information on the map, and it was really well put together, as all of T Mart's videos are. And T Mart just sounds so professional. He puts so much effort into his videos that it just always adds on some brownie points for the judges. And then after he was done with the actual tips and tricks and lines of sights video, he did a little bit of something that he called Bash's Outtakes, which was really funny, and it was a nice little add-on to the video in my opinion. Then his opponent, Dr. Coffee MD, came out with some great gameplay on Berlin Wall using the Scorpion, which I like, seeing as it's not the best gun in Black Ops, and he spoke about 2 imaginary rooms, Room A and Room B. Both have different perks and downfalls, and he asked the viewer which room they would rather stay in for the time period of 25 years. One room you'd face death and the other you'd face insanity. And he did a great job of grabbing my attention and keeping it for the entire commentary, and that's why he will be moving on in this round. Up next, we have the Gervin, who went up against Mr. Dunkus. Now, this was a really easy matchup to review, seeing as it didn't actually happen. That's right, the Gervin was forced to back out of March Madness because of the PSN outage, so the lovable Mr. Dunkus will move on by default in this round. And now for the final matchup of round number 3, Quake Beats, who went up against Vertical. Now, Quake came out with a couple of raps, but they weren't your normal raps about Call of Duty. He actually talked about his dad, who has passed away, and I thought that was really cool of him, and he talked over a beat that he made over some One in the Chamber gameplay in the background. He had a really easy to listen to commentary, but one thing that I did note was that he was playing an ante-up wager match, and this is the 3rd round of Commentator March Madness. In other words, this isn't an ante-up round. But regardless, he had a cool, smooth, and easy to listen to commentary. Then his competition Vertical started out his video with a short commentary showing how appreciative he is to be here right now. Then he said he would be proud to lose to Quake because they're good friends, and he put in an episode of his Fail Fridays where he takes fails from gameplay over the week and he uses theater mode to its full potential, and he always does a great job at this. And though he said he would be okay losing to Quake, he didn't, so the Cinderella story of the tournament Vertical will move on to round number 4. Alright, that's it for round 3. At this time, I'd like to take 2 seconds to invite you to check out my channel. Link is on screen right now or in the description. I have breakdowns from all the previous rounds on there, as well as my own commentary, so feel free to check it out. And lastly, I would like to thank you guys for watching and thank Woody for the opportunity to post on his channel, and I will talk to you guys in the next round.